आहारनिद्राभयमैथुनं च सामान्यमेतत् पशुभिर्नराणाम् धर्मो हि तेषामधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीनाः पशुभिः समानाः.
Today we sit with one of the most quoted and most quietly devastating verses in all of Sanskrit literature. It comes from the Hitopadesha and it goes like this: Ahar nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanyam etat pashubhir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena heenaah pashubhih samaanaah. Let us open it word by word. Ahar means food, eating. It comes from the root hri, to take, to bring toward yourself. Nidra is sleep, from the root dra, to sink into slumber. Bhaya is fear, from the root bhi, the whole instinct of self-preservation, the flinch, the flight. And maithunam is mating, the sexual and reproductive drive. The word comes from mithuna, meaning a pair. Then the verse says, Samanyam etat pashubhir naranam. This set of four is common, shared between animals and human beings. The word pashu is worth pausing on. It does not mean a wild animal. It means the tethered animal, the domestic beast, the creature bound to a stake. Hold that image, we will return to it. Then comes the turn. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. Dharma alone is the extra thing, the additional endowment, the distinguishing mark of human beings. And then the conclusion, delivered without mercy. Dharmena heenaah pashubhih samaanaah. Those who are devoid of dharma are equal to animals. Not similar to animals. Samaanaah, equal, the same. Where does this verse come from? The Hitopadesha, meaning beneficial instruction, was composed by the scholar Narayan Pandita roughly 1,000 years ago, drawing on the older Panchatantra. The frame story is this: a king named Sudarshana despairs that his sons are growing up unlettered and undisciplined, heirs to power with no wisdom to carry it. A teacher named Vishnu Sharman takes them on, and this verse appears right in the introduction. Notice who the audience is: princes, young men who already have all the food, comfort, safety, and pleasure they could want. And the teacher's very first move is to tell them, everything you have, a goat also has. Everything you chase, a dog also chases. It is a deliberate humbling, designed to create hunger for something more. And there is a lovely irony here. The verse that separates humans from animals opens a book that teaches wisdom through talking animals. The crows and deer and tortoises in these fables, who show loyalty and judgment and foresight, are more human than the humans who show none. Now the deeper layer. Look carefully at those four drives: eating, sleeping, fear, and mating. This is not a random list. It is a complete map of biological life. Eating is energy intake. Sleep is restoration. Fear is self-preservation. Mating is self-replication. Everything your body demands falls under one of those four headings. And notice, the verse never calls them evil. It does not ask you to despise food or sleep or desire. It simply calls them samanyam, common, generic. Nothing about them is you. The critique is not of the drives, but of a life that contains nothing else. The key word is adhika, extra, additional, the surplus. Dharma is not a fifth drive sitting next to the other four. It is a different kind of thing altogether. Dharma comes from the root dhri, which means to hold, to uphold, to support. Dharma is that which holds things together, a character, a family, a society. It is the capacity to evaluate your drives instead of merely obeying them. An animal eats when hungry. A human being can fast for a principle. An animal flees danger. A human being can walk into danger for someone else's sake. Dharma is the power to override the algorithm. And here is the radical part. This verse defines humanity not as something you are born with, but as something you do. Birth in a human body grants you only candidacy. The verse even hints at this in its grammar. Heenaah, devoid, comes from a root meaning to abandon. Those who abandon dharma. Humanity in this vision is a daily performance, earned each day or forfeited each day. Now remember the pashu, the tethered beast. A person ruled entirely by appetite imagines himself free. Free to eat anything, watch anything, chase anything. But the verse suggests he is actually tied to a stake, led around by a rope of stimulus and response. And this has never been more literal than today. Entire industries now reverse engineer these exact four drives. Food science optimizes craving. The endless scroll hijacks bhaya, your threat vigilance, feeding you outrage and alarm. Apps industrialize desire. And sleep. One tech executive famously said his company's biggest competitor is sleep. A whole economy monetizing the animal layer while the dharma layer starves. The great thinkers keep arriving at this same insight. Aristotle argued that nutrition we share with plants, perception and desire we share with animals. Only reasoned virtue is distinctively human. And he said, a life of mere pleasure is a life fit for cattle. That is almost a word-for-word translation of pashubhih samaanaah. Modern neuroscience tells the same story. The four drives live in the ancient brain structures we share with every mammal, while the prefrontal cortex, the seat of restraint, planning, and moral reasoning, is the adhika, the surplus. And Viktor Frankl, who watched human beings reduced to hunger and fear in the camps, said that between stimulus and response there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom. Dharma lives precisely in that space. So let me leave you with 3 questions and 1 practice. First, the audit. Of the last 24 hours, how much served only the 4 drives, including their digital costumes, and how much was truly extra, done for duty, growth, truth, or another's good? Second, the tether. Where are you a pashu, predictably led by a notification, a craving, a fear of judgment? What is the rope? Third, the override. When did you last set aside a strong desire for a principle? And when did you last dress up a desire as a principle? And the practice. I call it the Adhika Act. Once a day, do one thing no animal could do and no appetite explains. Keep an inconvenient promise. Tell a costly truth. Learn something useless and beautiful. Sit with someone in grief. Skip a meal and give away its cost. And as you do it, silently name it. This is my Vishesha. This is my distinguishing mark. Because eating, sleeping, fearing, and wanting, the world does those through you automatically. But Dharma is the one thing that will not happen unless you choose it. And in choosing it, again and again, you do not merely follow a rule. You become, each day, a human being. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. Dharma alone is the difference. Guard it, and everything it upholds stands. Abandon it, and no amount of comfort will make the tether anything but a rope.
आहारनिद्राभयमैथुनं च सामान्यमेतत् पशुभिर्नराणाम् धर्मो हि तेषामधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीनाः पशुभिः समानाः